Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope it's not too late to wish everyone a happy new year. I hope everyone is doing great and getting better in this year. As some of you might anticipated, for the past few months, I've been working on my own A320 Efis design that is fully made for 3D printing. This Efis will use same concept as my previous FCU design that I also designed from scratch but with few improvements. The main improvement I made is that this Efis is going to use a full printed circuit board or PCB where a very minimal wires are needed. So without further ado, first let us review the outer parts of this Efis. So this is the main faceplate here. So it's going to be backlightable. I will include two versions of this faceplate. The first version is empty faceplate without this wording and lines, where you can 3D print it, the whole plate, or you can custom from acrylic and using laser engrave onto it. The other version is these wordings and lines are already embossed into the faceplate. So you need to print it with different colors to achieve backlight compatible. You can search filament change method on YouTube to learn more on dual color printing. Another things to keep in mind is that these letters are quite small for standard 0.4 mm nozzle. Therefore, I would really recommend for you to use 0.2 mm nozzle if you want to print emboss type faceplate. Okay, so next is this part. This glass looking windows here is actually a darkened acrylic. So you need to custom made or cut yourself the tinted or dark acrylic. Let's go inside. These are the lighting plate, backlighting plate. So you need to place your backlight in this area. I recommend to use 5-volt LED strip where you can place those LED strips somewhere here, over here, a little bit over here and over here. So this, if you print it with white filament, so the lighting will diffuse around and it will make a very even distribution of lightings. The selector switch will be mounted to this backlight panel or backlight plate, as well as the 7 segment will be mounted on this backlight as well. So if you can see this backlight, same goes for this barrow and QNH letters. I will have two versions. First version is empty, where you can laser engrave these letters yourself, or you can print it with letter emboss only. At the back side, this is holes for the 3mm LED. So they are going to use 2 LED per letters over here. As I mentioned just now, this is the 7 segment where you just slot into this slot over here. These 7 segments, you need to use wires to connect them to the PCB later on. Now I'm going to hide frames so that we can review what are inside. So first are the rotary switches. I'm going to use standard 8 positions rotary switches. So these rotary switches are going to be mounted directly onto the PCB. This is the PCB. Okay, and there's going to be a shaft connecting the knob to these rotary switches. So this shaft, if I hide this rotary knob, you can see that the shaft will have a place to mount the knob. Okay, and next is the barrel knob. This barrel is going to use same module as per my previous FCU model. The position of the this rotary encoder will mount directly on the PCB. So this barrel module will going to screw directly onto the PCB. You can see here. The PCB will have holes for mounting it. Or they will have a barrel to QNH selector over here. We'll utilize these limit switches. And for the push and pull mechanism, I will use this shaft. So the shaft will have the push and pull switches over here. Okay. So for this selector switch, 3-position switch actually, you need to wire them manually to the PCB, where the other switches like this rotary position switch and the switches for this push button over here on the top here and two down below will going directly mounted to the PCB. The Arduino Mega will be mounted directly to the PCB on the back side of this PCB. So there will be no wires from this PCB to the Arduino Mega. Okay, next we go to the buttons. I will choose one of the buttons. This button will have two sections. The first section is the main body, okay, and then the faceplate of the button. So if I hide this faceplate, you can see this inside are the place for LED. First one is the green LED, and the bottom one is the backlight LED. Or you can use warm white LED. Okay. And for the faceplate, same as per main faceplate, we'll have two versions. The first version is empty faceplate, where you can use laser engraving to engrave the wordings, or you can use emboss faceplate, where you need to use dual color printing. So this button is going to be slot in place in the frame, as you can see. Okay, to assemble this Efis, first, once you have everything printed, what you need to do is you need to assemble the LED panel with 7 segments already installed inside, as well as these toggle switches. And then get all the wires ready, put it aside. And what you need to do is you need to prepare your PCB with all the components installed to the PCB. Soldered to the PCB. Then install the barrel module to the PCB. Install the rotary knob, both of the rotary knob with the green shaft. Then insert into the main frame from the back side, from this back side, and screw them in place. Once you have done that, insert the Cori button, just this one, without the faceplate. Then connect all the Cori LED wires to the connector on the PCB. Make sure all the wires connection of this barrel module as well connected to the PCB. And then insert your LED panel. Okay, before you insert your LED panel, make sure your wires for the 7 segments and toggle switches are connected to the PCB as well. Once you have done that, install the main faceplate, and then you can install this rotary knob. So this rotary knob will have a screw insert over here below it, so that you can lock it in place. You have to use the headless screw or grub screw. Okay. Keep in mind that the acrylic must have already been installed to the faceplate before you install it to this piece in frame. Then install the back cover with wires going out from this side, and you are done. So that's it for this video, guys. I will upload this design for sale soon. I am currently printing this design, and I will do a prototype as well as the videos of assembly. So once I have done that and documentations to assemble this Efis or to build this Efis, I will have this design up for sale later on. So thank you for watching.